All right, back with the 73 Charger. The quarter panels are welded on. I don't have them completely welded on. I do have them kind of tacked across the top, letting it cool a little bit here, and I'll go back and fill in between the gaps and that, trying not to warp it. So eventually that whole top line will be completely welded in. I got to take the clamps off on the inner, around the wheel well there where the quarter's glued. I used the structural adhesive there and glued the quarter to the inner wheel well. And then around back here, this was all welded in back here. You can see where we fitted it down, and it's welded along the bottom as well. Let's go over here, and you can see I put the door back on. Wanted to make sure that the lines and everything look good, so we got a pretty good line. I can still adjust the door closer to the quarter if I have to, but I want to zoom in over on this. This is where I did the butt weld right in here and lapped into the door jamb, so you can see how it kind of laps in there pretty nice. Just got to grind the weld down a little bit, but that come out nice. So you get a nice flat contour there, and then I ground a little bit of the weld across here. You can see there's just a little dip there. You get that a little bit. It's a little lumpy from grinding, but this is a pretty easy section between the two body lines, just to give it a thin coat of Bondo to kind of finish it off. But you can see it fits pretty nice. It's almost flush there with that little lip that I put in it. So now, like I said, I'll just keep going back and putting welds in between and letting it cool in that, trying to keep it from warping. But overall, I think it came out pretty good. There's the doors already. There was a little bit of an issue down here where the door came in, the quarter panel, how it was rounded there, so I kind of had to cut it, beat it down a little bit, and then I put a weld bead on it that I have to grind that down and clean that up. But otherwise it fit pretty good. Got some new hinges on it. Just got the door temporarily mocked up at this point. Eventually we'll take this all apart again, get the hinges all painted real nice. Looks like the replacement hinges come, it looks like it's a galvanized or a zinc coating on them. But I'm still going to go ahead and scuff them, epoxy prime them, and paint them. Pull all those bolts out, get those all sandblasted, get some etch primer on those, and then those will get painted. After I install them, usually I paint them first, and then they get all chipped trying to tighten them down. So I usually just go back with a brush afterwards and kind of brush paint them, and it usually works pretty good. Use a single stage. But it's coming along pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So hopefully by the end of next week I should have the quarters. They'll all be completely welded, ground down, have the body work done on them. There's a couple of minor little dings from shipping, I guess, that are on the quarter to fix. Nothing major, but I can get that all ground down, get some seam sealer on the seams and stuff, get it in primer, get some primer surfacer on it, and get it ready to block out. And should have the back half of the car just about done in the next week or so. Like I said, the doors are already done. The fenders are close. Got to finish up a little bit of the body work on them. Get the engine compartment here all scuffed, and I can get the engine compartment painted with a single stage. Same time I paint the insides of the door jambs with a single stage. Outside of the car, though, I am going to do with a base coat clear coat. So I'm using PPG shop line paint. It's fairly decent price. Nothing's cheap anymore, but it's a decent price, but it's a good quality product. PPG makes good paint. Sprays out pretty nice. Covers pretty good for the most part, but reds, yellows, some of that stuff, it's hard to get that to cover without the lead in it. You do need to use a sealer. I try to use a sealer, a light gray sealer, when I'm doing stuff, or if I know it's a really hard to cover color, I'll tint the sealer similar to what I'm painting it, make it a little bit easier to get it to spray out. So there you have it. it wasn't too bad putting those quarters on. Like I said, I thought the Tabco quarters were pretty darn good quarters. I wouldn't say they're, perfect museum, 100% restoration quality quarters, but I think they'll come out pretty nice, good quality. There's nothing else out there, but I think that it should look pretty good for a car that you're going to be driving and that. Other than that, I don't know where you would get these quarters. Nobody seems to be making them. If you think a 71 or 72 looks the same and you think you can make it fit, go ahead and try it. But we measured, and we were in the junkyard by us that had them, and we measured from the top body line here, from this top body line down to this body line, and there was a difference of, I think, almost an inch. And I believe it was lower, that the 71 and 72 quarters, that body line's about an inch lower. So it is different. So whether you can make it fit or not, I don't know, but we were able to get the 73, 74 quarters, and it worked. Obviously, 71 would have a different marker light. 72 would have had this same style marker light, but I think you're better off going with the cheaters instead of trying to make a 71 or a 72 fit. Because the 71 and 72, they actually make the full quarter goes up into the roof line and that. But remember, that roof line is different also. So, I don't know what's the purpose of getting it if you're going to have to do that much messing around with it. So we found that the Tabco quarters worked pretty good. Like I said, I'm real happy with them. They're good quality, fast service, great company to deal with. Called up. They were very knowledgeable, knew what was going on, and we got them within a week. So that worked out real well. All right, I'll give you another update in a little while on it when I get the rest of this stuff done. Maybe when I get it all, the back end all in primer and the body or the quarters all blocked out, I'll get you another shot of it.